Hi everyone. So I decided to make a step counter tutorial. This was something I've been working on for a few days, and it is very interesting. So I decided to go ahead and make a video on it. So I'm making a step counter on Android phone. So Android actually have a step most sensor for step counter, and you can you can go on the developers manual to see how we use it. So here, this is their manual, and here use the Android step sensor. So over here it shows us how we initialize, how we use the sensors and stuff. So I created this simple program. So first, in our main activity, I just wrote steps, and I created two text views. The first one just shows steps, and the second one is just the number in which we would be displaying the steps. So this is my code. So our main activity class, it implements a public interface called sensor event listener. So this sensor event listener is a public interface that needs two functions or methods that needs to be there. One's the on accuracy changed, and other is on sensor changed. So this on sensor changed method is called whenever, like it says here, whenever an event, whenever an event occurs. So for example, if our sensor type is step counter sensor, when we take the step, the sensor, this is triggered, on sensor changes to triggered, and this method is run on the code. So over here, this is the interface. So over here, I just this is the text view, and so I'd be storing the whatever steps we would be taking in a shared preference. So I've created this here, sensor manager. This would be okay. So on create, yada yada yada. Here is just linking the text view that we created. So this is the linking text. This is called text steps, and we link it here. So we're doing that over here. Creating a key of today's date in shared preferences. So what I've done here is I've created so like if so how's shared preference work is like there needs to be a key and a value pair. So our key for in what we are gonna store the steps would be a current date. So in shared preference, if today's date is October 9th, there's going to be October 9th, 2020 created, and whatever steps we take in that day or today, the steps is going to be added in that step, and after and on October 10th it'll restart. So every day it'll restart. So this is why I've created a current date. This is how you do it here. So this is a database setting up thing, shared preferences. We do so sensor manager gets system service on sensor service. So this comes from this here. So we're just initializing, and over here we're telling what the sensor is going to be. So count sensor is a sensor manager, is of type step counter, right? And this is, we're registering the sensor here. And if some phone does not have that sensor, it'll post a message. It won't crash, and it will post a message called sensor not found. That's it for here. After that, if shared preference doesn't contain the, okay, this is what's creating the current date in our database in the shared preference. So what's happening here is, if we don't have the current date in the shared preference, we put the current date and give the value of 0. If we have, we just display what the steps in taken in that day is in the yeah. So for example, if if we close an app, if we take like 10 steps and our app shows 10 steps, and if we close the app and if we open it again, there would be data in that current date in the shared preference, right? So it won't recreate the database with new current date. It will just use that date. I mean, it will just add on that steps and not like initialize it again and again. So that's what's happening in this section. Okay, now, like I said, since an interface needs like a method, this is the method that where things really happen. So whenever a sensor event occurs, in our case, whenever a step is taken, this method is run. This method runs, right? So what it does is like it checks if the current date is there in the database. If it's there, what it does, it takes the value. So initially the value would be 0. Like here we stored it. Where was it? Over here. Initially the value is 0. And whenever the on sensor change is triggered, we just add 1. So one step is taken, we add 1 to the value. And we put that value in to the current date, and we change the display. This is what happens on sensor change. On accuracy change, we don't need anything. So this is pretty much it. And this code is also available in my GitHub, and I'll leave the link on the description. So this is pretty much it for today. I'd be showing how to create. So I think I'll be making more videos on how I can create yesterday's steps and today's steps. All the different. History of kind of like history of steps here. So that would be maybe probably my next video, but yeah, this is what I did, and yeah, I found it quite interesting. So yeah, thank you.